Assalamu alaikum and good evening. You are watching Hums Up TV and I am Muneeb Hamid with the news. American statements detrimental to Pakistan-United States relationship. Cabinet. Federal Cabinet on Wednesday observed that recent statements by the American leadership were detrimental to the Pakistan-US relationship that had developed over generations. Pakistan has rendered huge sacrifices both in terms of loss of precious human lives and substantial damage to the economy as a result of partnering in the global war against terrorism. Achievements made by Pakistan in curbing the menace of terrorism have been acknowledged throughout the world, reiterated the cabinet. Foreign Minister Khwaja Asif briefed a meeting of the cabinet presided over by Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Wasi on the background of the American statements and the discussion held at the 17th meeting of the National Security Committee on Tuesday. The cabinet unanimously endorsed the stance of the NSC, which had expressed deep disappointment over the statements of the US leadership. Chief of Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa inspects fence along Afghan border. Chief of the Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa on Wednesday paid tribute to a villager of Karak district whose 3 sons and 2 nephews laid down their lives in the line of duty. During a visit to Muhammad Ali Khan in Gara Khail village, the army chief said that until the country had such great parents and brave sons, no threat could deter Pakistan. An Inter-Services Public Relations statement said that Muhammad Ali Khan had 8 sons, out of which 6 were in the armed forces. 3 of Mr. Khan's sons who were serving in the Frontier Corps FC and the army lost their lives in various operations. 2 of his nephews who were serving in the army were also martyred in counter-terrorism operations. Misunderstandings between United States and Pakistan will affect peace efforts in Afghanistan, ISPR chief. The chief of military's media wing, Major General Asif Ghafoor, on Wednesday said Washington should realize the misunderstandings between Pakistan and United States could negatively affect the security situation in the region, particularly in Afghanistan. Pakistan will never compromise on its prestige and integrity. He, however, stressed that the US and Pakistan were allies. The ISPR chief also pointed towards the Indian background of US Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley. US should find out the elements which are aiming at deteriorating the US-Pakistan cooperation, he said. Ghafoor said the new US policy for the region mentions that India would be provided with a lead role in security issues. We don't need a security guarantee from anyone. We are a responsible nation and will continue our role in establishing peace in the region. Pakistan Navy test fires anti-ship missile. In an impressive firepower display, live weapon firing was conducted by Pakistan Navy's newly commissioned fast attack craft missile PNS Himmat in the North Arabian Sea on Wednesday. PNS Himmat fired indigenously developed Harba naval cruise missile, which is a surface-to-surface anti-ship missile with land attack capability. The missile accurately hit the target, signifying the impressive capabilities of Harba naval weapon system. Chief of the Naval Staff Admiral Zafar Mahmood Abbasi witnessed the firing on board Pakistan Navy ship Alamgir. The successful live weapon firing once again demonstrated the credible firepower of Pakistan Navy and the impeccable level of indignation in high-tech weapon achieved by the country's defense industry, said a press release. This was clear manifestation of the government's resolve to achieve self-reliance in defense field. Admiral Abbasi expressed his satisfaction on the operational readiness of Pakistan Navy fleet units and commended the efforts of all those involved in achieving the milestone. History teaches us not to trust the United States, says Khwaja Asif. In response to US President Trump's tirade against Pakistan, Foreign Minister Khwaja Asif, through a series of tweets, reminded the United States of the services of Pakistan had rendered during the past several years, particularly in the war against terrorism. The Foreign Minister said, "The history teaches us not to blindly trust the US. You have asked, what did we do? A dictator surrendered before the US on a single phone call. Our country witnessed the worst bloodbath. You carried out 57,800 attacks on Afghanistan from our bases. Your forces were supplied arms and explosives through our soil. Thousands of our civilians and soldiers became victims of the war initiated by you," he tweeted. The minister also highlighted the sacrifices rendered by Pakistanis in the war against terrorism. He also talked about the cost Pakistani paid for its participation in the said war. Parliamentary committee meeting to discuss Trump's allegations against Pakistan underway. National Assembly Speaker Ayaz Sadiq is presiding over a meeting of the Parliamentary Committee on National Security, which has been convened to discuss the allegations leveled by the United States against Islamabad. The meeting on Thursday was called after US President Donald Trump accused Pakistan of basing its relationship with the US on nothing but lies and deceit. The United States has foolishly given Pakistan more than $33 billion in aid over the last 15 years, and they have given us nothing but lies and deceit. Thinking of our leaders as fools, Trump had tweeted. Dar files objection to assets freezing order. The defunct Finance Minister Ishaq Dar has filed objection to the order of an accountability court regarding the freezing of his properties. Dar's counsel filed the objections on Wednesday. The defunct minister objected that the order to freeze assets was issued without giving him proper opportunity of defense. The counsel said the Accountability Court invoked Section 17C of National Accountability Ordinance twice against Mr. Dar, adding that at the time of indictment, the court gave him less than 48 hours, whereas under the routine practice, the court framed charges at least 7 days after supplying the copies of reference to the accused. Likewise, he said the court under Section 87 of the CRPC had to give at least 30 days to Mr. Dar after issuance of proclamation, but by invoking the said section, it reduced the time frame and declared the defunct minister as proclaimed offender after 10 days. India calls off deal for Israeli anti-tank missiles. India has called off an order to buy Spike anti-tank guided missiles from Israel's state-owned defense contractor Rafael, the company said on Wednesday. The deal was worth about $500 million, and the announcements of its termination came a couple of weeks before Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is due to visit India. An Indian Defense Ministry spokesman declined comment on the cancellation. Local media reported that India's Defense Research and Development Organization was developing a domestic anti-tank missile the government was keen to support. Iran deploys Revolutionary Guards to quell sedition. Iran's elite Revolutionary Guards have been deployed to forces to 3 provinces to put down an eruption of anti-government unrest after 6 days of protests that have rattled the clerical leadership and left 21 people dead. The protests, which began last week out of frustration over economic hardships suffered by the youth and working class, have evolved into a rising against the powers and privileges of a remote elite, especially Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Defying threats from the judiciary of execution if convicted of rioting, protests resumed after nightfall with hundreds hitting the streets of Malaya in Hamadan province chanting, "People are begging, the Supreme Leader is acting like God." Videos carried by social media showed protesters in the northern town of Naushahar shout, "Death to the dictator," an apparent reference to Khamenei. Pakistan needs to earn the money it gets, says United States. The U.S. State Department has said that Pakistan needs to earn the money it gets from Washington, while the White House warned that President Donald Trump can follow through his pledge to stop U.S. assistance to Pakistan if it does not change its Afghan policy. The two statements were part of the regular news briefing at the White House and the said State Department on Tuesday, where reporters appeared perturbed about the timing of the tweet Mr. Trump sent out at 4 a.m. on morning, threatening Pakistan with dire consequences of its alleged support to the militants. At the State Department spokesperson Heath Narrett seemed aware of the unpopularity of the "do more" phrase and avoided it at least once. "I do not want to say that Pakistan can do more, but Pakistan knows what it needs to do." Israel plans to force out thousands of African migrants. Israel plans to force tens of thousands of African migrants to leave over the next 3 months by threatening to arrest those who stay, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Wednesday. Under the plan, some 38,000 migrants who entered Israel illegally, mainly Eritreans and Sunnis, will have until the end of March to leave. Each will receive a plane ticket and $3,500 to do so. After March, this amount will decrease, and those who continue to refuse to go will face arrest. Holot, an open facility in Israel's desert south that can host 1,200 migrants who are allowed to leave to work during the day, is also set to be closed. When the plan was first announced in November, the UN Refugee Agency expressed concerns. 50 bodies recovered from horrific Peru bus crash. Peruvian emergency workers on Wednesday said they had recovered 50 bodies, 6 of them children, from a horrific bus crash over a cliff north of the capital Lima. The coach plunged around 100 meters over Seaside Cliff on Tuesday after a collision with a truck on a precarious stretch known as the Devil's Curve. It had been traveling from Huaco, 130 kilometers north of the capital, to Lima with 55 passengers registered and 2 crew on board. The vehicle landed upside down on rocks at the edge of the sea. We have finished the painful task of recovering the bodies. 50 bodies have been recovered from the accident. Suicide blast kills 14 in Nigeria mosque. 14 worshippers were killed on Wednesday when a suicide bomber attacked a mosque on Nigeria's border with Cameroon, civilian vigilantes said. The suspected Boko Haram militant blew himself up amid worshippers inside the mosque in Gamburu at around 5 a.m. shortly before morning prayers. 14 bodies have been pulled out of the rubble, said Umar Kachala, a civilian military man, who said the mosque had been destroyed. Only the muezzin has survived and we believe more bodies are buried under the debris, said Kachala. The death toll will likely rise. Azhar Fakhr hit tons in crushing win for Pakistan. Fakhr Zaman and Azhar Ali both scored centuries as Pakistan cruised to a 120-run victory over New Zealand 11 in their one-day tour match at the Saxton Oval here on Wednesday. The left-handed Fakhr pounded 106 from 84 balls and Azhar made 104 from 105 balls in a 206-run opening partnership in 29 overs before retired out in the only warm-up fixture for the tourists before they faced New Zealand in the first of the 5 one-day internationals in Lowenlington on Saturday. Fakhr took an instant light for New Zealand conditions as the left-hander hit 12 fours and 3 sixes against a medium-pace attack of James Baker, Michael Ray and Matt McEwan, while Azhar struck 8 fours and 1 6 during his innings. And now the weather forecast for next 24 hours. Rain, thunderstorm with snowfall over the hills is expected at scattered places in Malak and Hazara divisions and at isolated places in Peshawar, Madhan, Kohat, Rawalpindi, Gujranwala, Quetta, Zob divisions, Islamabad, Fatah, Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir. Dense foggy conditions are likely to prevail over plain areas of Punjab and Upper Sindh during night and morning hours. That's all for now. For more news and updates, keep watching Hums Up TV. Take care. Please subscribe to Hums Up TV and hit the notification icon on the screen to get the latest updates of our channel. Thank you for watching Hums Up TV.